afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar titled 5 Tips for a Successful EDI Implementation. My name is Aggie, and I'm Digital Marketing Executive here at B2BGateway. Before we get started, I'd like to go over a few items so you know how to participate in today's event. You're listening in using your computer speaker system by default. If you prefer to join over the phone, just select telephone in the audio section, and the dial-in information will be displayed. You will have the opportunity to submit text questions to today's presenter by typing your questions into the questions panel on the right-hand side of your screen. You may send in your questions at any time of our presentation. We will collect these and address them during the Q&A session at the end of today's webinar. As I mentioned before, my name is Agi Grabowska, but I'm also joined by my colleague, Roger Layden, Director of Global Business Development. And at today's webinar, you will learn what EDI is, and we will present a small selection of trading partners that we support. We will explain what are EDI standards and protocols, and where does EDI fit into the marketplace, and then jump onto GS1 128 labels. We will discuss best practices in implementing EDI and quickly highlight B2BGateway client portal and mobile app. Close to an end, we will take any questions that you may have. So let's jump to the slide about B2BGateway. B2BGateway has been in business for over 18 years, since 1999, and we are offering EDI and supply chain integration to thousands of clients across the globe. There are some interesting facts about us. We have offices in United States, in Ireland, Australia, and China. 3 of our executives were named as pros to know by Supply and Demand Executive magazine. We are GS1 accredited solution provider. We are built for NetSuite, Intuit Gold Developer, and Acumatica certified application. We process over $30 billion in client TP transactions each month, and we have thousands of client TP partner relationships worldwide. So here you can see some of our clients, and B2BGateway currently supports over 25,000 EDI relationships and presently works with hundreds of trading partners. So we can find full list of trading partners across all the verticals on our website at www.b2bgateway.net/trading partners, and new trading partners relationships are added daily. So what exactly is EDI? It is electronic interchange of business documents using a standardized format. It is a process which allows one company to send information to another company electronically rather than with paper. And by adhering to the same standards, different companies or organizations, we call them trading partners, even in different countries, can electronically exchange documents such as purchase orders, invoices, shipping notices, and many others. Most common documents that we work with are purchase orders and invoices. So you receive a purchase order from the retailer, we place it directly into your ERP or accounting package, and then once you do your normal business process, you pick, pack, and ship, we can pull that invoice out from your system and send it back to the retailer. It all sounds very simple. It seems as well like something you might do on your own. Unfortunately, what happens is that each trading partner has different business requirements, and document standards might change over time. So let's start at the basics. EDI is not out-of-the-box solution. There are standards and which needs to be followed, such as X12, EDIFACT, Tradocoms, Yancom, and ODET. There are also protocols which are set in place, such as VAN or Value-Added Network, AS2, FTP, SFTP, and so on. These standards and protocols must be followed in order to successfully exchange documents between our clients and trading partners. And finally, integration with accounting software or your ERP system must be considered. And here I would like to briefly highlight major sets of EDI standards. The US standard ANSI X12 is predominant in North America. Transaction sets are given numerical values. Example, purchase order is 850, invoice is 810. The United Nations recommended the EDIFACT as the only international standard and is predominant outside of North America. So transaction sets are given names. Example, purchase order is orders and invoice is an invoice. And lastly, Tradecom is a most popular EDI transaction set in UK, but currently taken over by the Edifact. And here is just a quick example how the purchase order looks in a different standards. So here we have ANSI X12, 850 purchase order. Here we have orders, purchase order in Edifact, and finally Tradecom's. And now let's jump to the communication protocols. So communication protocols, they're formal descriptions of digital message formats and rules. They are required to exchange EDI messages between trading partner and the supplier. And there are thousands of communication protocols that are used everywhere. Popular protocols include value-added network, AS2, applicability statement 2, file transfer protocol, and HTTP, and so on, so on. So the list is really long. And finally, integration. Clients, organization must decide whether they want to integrate their EDI solution with the ERP, accounting software, or want a standalone web-based portal solution. So after purchasing the necessary software, or if you're currently running on a particular ERP, a skilled EDI programming staff must next convert the requirements into the reality. So the staff must be fully knowledgeable of EDI standards, in-house systems, and communication protocols required by your trading partner. So the basic tasks that needs to be performed include the integrating EDI with your in-house ERP system, which means extracting and loading the data, creating the EDI documents by mapping the extracted data to the proper segments and data elements of the EDI transactions, and third, installing and configuring the communication software for sending and receiving documents. Each of these three processes can be very complex, particularly when you have many business partners, each with its own requirements. So that's why good technically skilled staff is needed. So B2BGateway develop integrations with ERP's accounting packages such as NetSuite, QuickBooks, Acumatica, Xero, and so on. We also developed integrations with add-ons, e-commerce platforms, and 3PLs. So now let's pull that all together. So as you can see, EDI can become very complex. Each trading partner is going to specify their required communication method and required data standard that they would like you to use. So for example, you will have a contract with Amazon. They will tell you to use AS2 as the communication method. So if you are trying to do it yourself for just Amazon, it would be complex enough. But if you would like to add more trading partners, each running on a different communication method and standard, there is a lot that needs to be done. So when you decide to do it yourself, you will have to get AS2 server, AS2 software, encryption software. You will have to pay the licensing fees, get software certificate, and hire the consultants. Your IT team, together with these consultants, will have to build all the data maps that Amazon is going to require. But what if the trading partner decides to change their standards? Then you will have to hire these consultants again and start the process all over again. So this is when B2BGateway comes in to make it easy for you. We have been doing this for 18 years now, and we are very good at integrating it with any accounting software or ERP solution. We can handle all trading partners' specification, and we know exactly what is needed when the setup comes around. We have dedicated setup teams, which will take EDI off from your hands so you can focus on the other parts of your business. And okay, so where exactly EDI fits into the marketplace? Over the last couple of years, it has expanded to include a lot more. EDI is used across many different industry sectors, and it is applied to address many different business processes and industry challenges. So EDI is used in wholesale distribution, box store retail, such as Walmart, Target, CVS, in online retail, like Amazon, Zappos, Buy.com, shopping cart integration, for example, Magento, Shopify, and BigCommerce. In third-party logistics, manufacturing, automotive, pharmaceutical, and healthcare, and the list is really, really long. So B2B Gateway is working as a communication hub between trading partners. We can connect to many industries, so we got you covered over there. And now GS1 128 labels. In today's business environment, they become a necessary part of criteria for large format retailers in automating the supply chain with the suppliers. And it is a barcode used on cases and pallets that can contain the identification code and additional information such as dates, weights, and batch numbers. So B2B Gateway has developed a warehouse support site for clients to enable the creation of the ESN and the GS1 128 label from the original purchase order received. So now I'm going to hand you over to Roger, and Roger will take you through the 5 tips of for a successful EDI implementation. Thank you.
Lovely, and thank you very much, Aggie, for that wonderful overview of what EDI is, where it fits into the market, and the advantages, and so on and so forth. So I hope that you now have a good understanding of the basics of EDI, the different standards and different things that need to be put together to put a successful EDI communication together, and so on. So now we're going to change tack here on today's webinar just a little bit and talk to you about the 5 tips preparing for EDI, preparing for a successful EDI implementation, because like all things, EDI, it may be new on people, may be new on organizations, and if you prepare well for it in advance, it can make things go a lot smoother. So, as we say, we've put together 5 tips that we hope will help you or your organization today in preparing for your EDI journey. So number 1, as you can see on the screen here today, the first thing I think your organization needs to do is to determine where exactly your organization lies in the supply chain, and especially for your EDI implementation. Is your organization going to be an initiator or a responder in the EDI world? And exactly what I mean by that is your organization implementing EDI on your own behalf? Are you implementing EDI because you realize it's best business practice? You would like to improve your supply chain efficiencies, and you want to get your customers to correspond electronically with you as you exchange standard business documents such as orders, invoices, inventory updates, advanced shipping notices, and so on. Or is your organization a responder? And what we mean by that, a responder is an organization, maybe you're a wholesale distributor or a manufacturer, and you've just received a supply contract from Walmart or Target or CVS or any of these big box store or online retailers, even Amazon, that are out there, Amazon Vendor Central. These organizations will come to you and they will say, yes, we'd love to sell your goods, here's our supply contract, but you will find that part of that supply contract is that you have to be EDI compliant. And EDI compliant will mean that you will need to follow their rules and regulations of what they require. Aggie mentioned a few there earlier. She showed you Amazon and Tesco and Michaels and 1 or 2 others. And each organization has their own rules and requirements regarding EDI. They may have different standards. If they're in North America, they will probably use the NCX 12 North American standards. But if they're in Europe or the Far East, they may use EDIFACT. Or if they're in the United Kingdom, Aggie showed you, they may use Tradecoms and different standards like that, so forth. So if you're a responder, you're going to have to be able to meet the requirements of your customers. You will have to abide by their rules, regulations, what standards they want, what messaging they want you to exchange, whether it be orders, invoices, or they want inventory updates. And lastly, but not leastly, you will have to be able to transfer the data over their required communication protocol. That's either going to be maybe over a VAN, maybe over AS2, which is encrypted software that you can use to transfer data over the internet, or they may require something like FTP, file transfer protocol, or secure file transfer protocol. Secondly, then, in our 5 tips for preparing for a successful EDI implementation, I think it's of paramount importance that you put together a dedicated project team and have an assigned dedicated project manager who will leave drive and oversee the complete project. It's also very important, we think, that you get buy-in from senior level management, C-level executives, our line managers. You must have full commitment from them. And as well as that, a good and open communication process between your accounting team, who are receiving the EDI orders and invoices in their back-end system, as Aggie showed you, like NetSuite, Sage, SAP, QuickBooks, Xero, or whatever you may be using. But make sure there's a good communication process between your accounting teams and your operation teams. Your operation teams will probably be out in your warehouse or where you ship from, and it's essential to have good communications between both of them, so nothing is falling between the cracks. Thirdly, you need to communicate with your trading partners. In the EDI world, we call your trading partners anybody that you establish electronic communications with, anybody that you exchange EDI documents like the aforementioned orders, invoices, advanced ship notices, functional acknowledgements, etc. We refer to those as trading partners, and they could consist of your customers like the box store retailers. They could be your online marketplaces like Amazon or eBay. They may be 3PL, so if you outsource your warehouse or shipping needs to 3PL, a third-party logistics organization, you can communicate with those through EDI, and they could also be the factories that you order your goods from. We're finding many of our clients these days are using EDI technology to communicate with their factories, to place orders for goods, and to get back communication from the factories to say when the goods will be manufactured and when they'll be shipped to them. So it's very important that you communicate with your trading partners. You establish, as we say, the rules and requirements that will be needed, whether they will be the NCX 12 standards, whether it will be a VAN that you may need, or right down to the messaging you wish to exchange. And we also find that it's very important, or at least it makes it very smooth, if you can get a designated point of contact in your trading partner's organization. If you can get a dedicated point of contact or a dedicated team within that organization, it makes the whole process and communications way more smoothly. When you establish an EDI relationship, or you decide you're going to implement an EDI relationship in your organization, and you may have many trading partners to implement. You may have 5 or 6 retailing partners, you may have 1 or 2 3PLs, you may have 1 or 2 factories, and then again you may deal on 3 or 4 different online marketplaces, and you may use your own online shopping cart, like maybe you've built a shopping cart on Magento, Shopify, WooCommerce, PrestaShop, or any of these numerous e-commerce platforms out there. When you decide that you want to implement all these for electronic communication such as EDI, I think it's important that you maybe start with just 1 or 2 or 1 or a handful, and use the first couple as a pilot project. Because it is new and you will be learning as you go along. You can use the first 1 or 2 implementations to tweak and make improvements to your operations and to your systems as you go along. Then when you are more and more comfortable, you can add more and more on and get them going, get the advantages and the return on investment of introducing an EDI system. But we certainly recommend for the first 1 or 2, don't start with too many day one because you may drown. Just start with a few to get to know the world of EDI, and as I said, to make tweaks and improvements as you go along. Then once you're up and running, you can add many at a time and work on many simultaneously as you go along. And then lastly, but no means least, then are 5 tips for preparing for a successful EDI implementation. Your organization needs to decide if you're well equipped to do EDI in-house. If you have a good, knowledgeable IT team with dedicated resources and time, and have the knowledge of systems, you probably may want to do EDI in-house if you have the capabilities. But if not, if you find yourself stretched, or if your IT team finds itself stretched, you may consider outsourcing to a third-party EDI provider such as B2BGateway, and there are numerous others out there as well. One of the greatest advantages of selecting a third-party EDI provider is they essentially become your partner. That is all they do. That's what a good EDI provider will do. All they do is EDI, and they become your dedicated partner. And they should be able to know and handle any of the rules or requirements that your trading partners will throw at you, whether it be, as I say, X12 formats, EDIFACT formats, Tradicom formats, whether they want you to use VANs, FTPs, AS2s, and as we said, the multiple EDI messages that are out there. I think there's, in present day, there's over 318 ANSI X12 EDI messages that can be exchanged between trading partners. So, as I say, the advantages of going for a third-party EDI provider is that they should have all this knowledge ready for you. So when you need to do that EDI implementation, they can go straight off the bat. They can go straight away for you, and there's no hiccups or stalls as you go along. So that is the 5 tips that we have come up. I know there's probably more, and people who've worked in EDI before probably would have their own ideas, but they're the 5 that we have come up with. So now I just want to very quickly, before we end today's session, I just want to very quickly give you a very brief overview of how B2B Gateway can help you or your organization with your EDI requirements if you're thinking of implementing EDI. So first of all, each and every B2B Gateway client gets what we call the B2B Gateway Client Portal. This is the back-end system. This is where you or your staff will log in and manage all your EDI accounts, everything you need. The client portal will give you advantages such as business intelligence. It will give you, up-to-date, up-to-minute information on your most active trading partners, where purchase orders are coming from, what documents, what EDI documents you've processed on any given day. It'll give you updates on or you can view and update your own company information. You can assign whoever you like within your company to have access to this with usernames and passwords, etc. You can contact your B2B Gateway support team through the portal, and you can reprocess EDI documents if there's a need for it. So, say for instance, an invoice you were sending a trading partner failed, and it failed because there was a bad data element put into the invoice. You can just go in there, remove that bad data element, and reprocess or resend that EDI document so your trading partner gets it and you get paid. As I say, and through the client portal, you can get the transaction reports. Transaction reports basically will tell you of all your EDI activity, any EDI documents that come in or out of your account. And you can also use the facility here for searchability, for searching, so if you wanted to know, oh my God, did Target send me a purchase order on the 9th of December, you can use the facility here within the client portal to go in here and do a search and find that missing purchase order if you feel you didn't have it. So that's just a bit more there on the transaction report, and that's actually the screenshot you're looking at now, and how you can search for any given EDI document. You can search by the document, by your trading partner, by the date range, and so on. The B2B Gateway Client Portal will also give you an exception report. The exception report, in my mind, is probably the most important report you will get, because an exception report will highlight if an EDI document has failed for whatever reason. And if I go back to the example before of the invoice that failed because of a bad data element, this will be highlighted here on this transaction report to you. And as I say, the reason why I feel this is the most important is that if your customers or your trading partners are not receiving your invoices, your organization is not getting paid. Why else would you choose B2B Gateway? Well, we would like to think you would choose us because of our award-winning customer service. Every B2B Gateway client gets a dedicated setup team, and that's purely for the implementation process that we spoke about earlier. You get a 3-person dedicated setup team, a project manager, a programmer, and a trading partner liaison. And then once you're finished, or once you go live with that team, you're looked after then by the Rapid Response Team, or RRT for short, and they will look after your ongoing daily needs if anything needs to crop up. Say, for instance, a document did fail, and for whatever reason you were not able to reprocess that document, the RRT team will step in, help you out, and make sure that document gets into your trading partner. Again, one of the newest, greatest things that B2B Gateway have recently released over the past couple of months is our EDI Connect app. This will give you or any of our clients 24/7 access to your EDI account, to your B2B Gateway EDI account. It's available on both the Android stores, the Google Play, and the iOS Apple App stores. As I say, it'll work with any mobile device, and we'll give you 24/7 access in any time zone. It's a wonderful thing, and we've actually won awards for it already, so it's great. So a very quick recap. Why should your organization consider implementing EDI or making EDI part of your operations? Because it removes the need to rekey data, it obviously gives you greater accuracy. It's machine-to-machine exchange of data, so it removes the need it does remove the need to rekey data, which in turn reduces human error. The integration, EDI will allow you to integrate not alone with your back-end system, whether it be NetSuite, SAP, Xero, QuickBooks, Brightpearl, or so on and so forth, but it also offers you integration opportunities with third-party logistics, warehouse management systems, and so on and so forth. Greater speed, goes without saying. Electronic communications will give you greater speed. It should give you faster payments because the orders and invoices are being exchanged much faster between you and your customers. So once the customers are receiving your invoices much faster, hopefully you're getting paid much faster. And last but no means least, it's environmentally friendly as it removes an over-reliance on paper. So I think that's it. Yes, that's it. That's the end of our presentation for today. We thank you very much for joining us, but we're not finished yet. I think we may have some questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch back to Aggie now, and Aggie's going to handle any questions that may have come in. If you want to put in a question, as Aggie said, you can use the chat box on the right-hand side of your screen to put in a question now. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. So we're now going to begin answering the questions submitted during today's presentation. And I can see first question is, can I get the copy of the presentation of today's webinar? Yes, you can. In the next day or two, I'm going to send you the link to the webinar, the recording of our webinar, and PDF slides of our slide deck. And next question is how much it will cost. Roger?
Sure. Thank you, Aggie. Yes, what I would suggest is that you would contact us directly after this webinar. You can contact us by emailing us sales@b2bgateway.net, or you can go on our website, www.b2bgateway.net, where all our pricing is available. The reason why I say to contact us or to go on the website is that we do have different pricing models depending on your needs and depending on the back-end software system you use. So depending on the complexity of the back-end software system that you need to integrate with, we do have different pricing models. So if you contact us or go on our website and just let us know what system you're using, we can get you the proper pricing for that system.
Thank you. You said about trading partner specifications. What are they? What I can say is that each of the trading partners will provide you with a set of their specifications, and these will be a subset of the standards for the electronic document. So most partners trade the EDI PO, purchase order, invoice, and ASN, advanced ship notice. The GS1 128 label is usually required along with the ASN. So your partners may also require other EDI documents, which will be all described in a detail in the trading partner specifications document that we are receiving from the particular TP. What do I need to do during implementation?
Yeah, thanks, Aggie. What do I need to do during implementation? I suppose on the 5 tips, the first thing what you need to do is, as I say, is find out where you are in the supply chain. You know, are you implementing on your own behalf? Are you just responding to a customer's needs? If you are responding to a customer's needs, what you need to do is you need to get the exact specifications, mapping details, and messaging required from that customer. The customer usually has an EDI spec sheet or a spec pack that they will send you out. So it's of most importance that you get that spec pack. And then you need to decide, do I have the capabilities to look after this in-house with my own IT team, or do I outsource to a third-party EDI provider? Only you or your organization can make that decision, but I do highly recommend going with an expert, with a third-party provider.
Thank you. And how long does it take to set up a third-party logistic?
Very good. Third-party logistics, like any other trading partner, and the other trading partners, as I mentioned, may be retailers or maybe manufacturers or online marketplaces. But setting up a new EDI relationship with a 3PL or any trading partner depends. The length of time it takes depends greatly on the testing process between the EDI provider and between the 3PL. It's very difficult to give you an exact date of how long it would take, because different organizations have different requirements and will respond to you. Some will respond quicker than others. But all in all, and to give you a kind of a generic response, but all in all, we find that it takes roughly about 4 to 6 weeks to set up a new relationship with a 3PL. Great,
thank you. And how do we know that EDI transmission has been received?
A lot of trading partners will trade what they call the 997, the functional acknowledgement document. So, for instance, we go back to sending that invoice to your customer or trading partner. Once we send that invoice, or that invoice gets sent electronically through EDI to your customer, we should receive back in 997 what's called a functional acknowledgement, stating that they have received that transmission of that document.
Great, thank you, Roger. So I don't see any more questions, so I think that wraps up today's presentation. Thank you, Roger, and thank you, everyone, for attending today's webinar. If you have any other questions, please contact us at sales@b2bgateway.net. And if you would like to learn more about our solutions or any of our other upcoming webinars, please visit our website. You will also receive, as I said, a follow-up email within 24 to 48 hours with a link to view the recording of today's webinar together with the webinar slides. So thank you for joining us today, and have a great rest of the day.